Hi there, Doug Cockle here. You might know me better as Geralt of Rivia from the Witcher video game series. I'm here at London Anime and Gaming Con, and there have been some questions sent in via Facebook and Reddit, so I can't answer all of them, there were a lot of them. So I'll just pick out a few choice ones and answer them for you. The very first one on this list, and I understand that these were kind of plucked from many other questions. So Gigantosaurus86, he asks, was he able to contribute a lot of his own ideas to the character of Geralt, or was CD Projekt Red strict and how they wanted him to be performed? I think there's several answers to that question. I'll try to keep them really short. One is that the character was defined by Anders Sapkowski, the author of the novels. So CD Projekt was actually kind of interpreting that in their own way, obviously. And when they came to me and when we started recording, there was a certain amount of working together to develop what the voice of Geralt was. But they had very strong ideas about who Geralt is, who he was, and who he was meant to be in the games. So yeah, there was some of my contribution, particularly in the later games, but not so much in the early games. CD Projekt wanted to really tight control over it in the early games, but as my relationship with them and with the character developed, it was much more collaborative, and in the end I felt it was a very creative process. I hope that answers your question, Gigantosaurus86. A question from Dart1337. Ask him how he liked that silver. I like that silver very much. It's one of those funny questions people ask, and I never understand quite why. Well, I do understand why, but what am I supposed to say about it? Geralt, however, might have something to say about it. He likes the silver for monsters. So, okay, and Grunge969, he asks, is he tired of the voice, or does he fully embrace the Geralt voice as part of his act? Has he played the 3 games, and does he have a scene in Cyberpunk 2077? That's 3 questions there, dude. Okay, so am I tired of the voice? Never. I love Geralt's voice. And of course I fully embrace the character. I've always loved Geralt, but particularly as I grew to know him. As for your other 2 questions, I have not played Witcher 1 and 2 all the way through. I have played some of them, but I have played Witcher 3 all the way through. And do I have a scene in Cyberpunk 2077? Not yet. I don't know if I will. Honestly, I don't know, but we'll see. Sunay, that's Sunay with a 5 for an S. Ask him for a few rounds of Gwent. Honestly, I'm here in front of a camera and you're at the other end of a Reddit forum. How can we possibly have a round of Gwent? Think about it. Davakan. Does his throat hurt after recording for a long time? Yes, it does, but really depending on what the nature of the material is. If it's Geralt, yeah, it can get tiring after 4 hours or 5 hours of recording. But I've grown to, adjust the voice so much that it's much easier for me than it was when I was first starting out with Geralt. Lissap17 asks, does he have an explanation about why some accents in the game are American while the majority are British accents? You'd have to ask CD Projekt really for that, but I do recognize that most of the Witchers have American accents, and most of the other characters, unless they're Nilfgaardian, have kind of British accents or from the British Isles. You'll notice the Nilfgaardians, they have kind of a faux Dutch accent. The reasons why, I have no idea. Perhaps because of the semi-Germanic, Slavic nature of the beginnings of the game and the roots of Sapkowski's novel and the folklore of the region. I don't know. That's just a guess. Sheeps94 asks, does he get recognized in public? What are the most common things fans ask him to say? Do I get recognized in public? No. Now, only at things like this, the London Anime and Gaming Con, sometimes people recognize me because they've seen me in interviews or something like that. But no, people don't generally recognize me in public. It's kind of a good thing because I can get on with my personal life. What are the most common things fans ask me to say? Well, one, as we heard before, is, how do you like that silver? Damn it, Roach. Sometimes. It's really varied, actually. People ask me to say all kinds of silly things. White Wolf Whispers, hello White Wolf Whispers, he asks, please ask him, how quickly did you jump at the chance to be Geralt again in voicing the dialogue for Monster Hunter World? Well, first easy answer is, as it was a paid gig, really quickly, because I had a mortgage to pay, kids to feed, a life to live, so money is always good for those kinds of things. But in terms of, just revisiting Geralt, absolutely. I will always jump at a chance to play Geralt because he's part of my soul now, dude. Assuming that White Wolf Whispers is a dude, you could be a dudess. I don't even know if there's such a thing as a dudess. We'll never know. Maybe we know. Somebody tell me. Username. If fans recognize his voice in public, that's a question, I think. No, I've never had anybody recognize my voice in public, so I think I'm safe there. And as you can hear, actually, my voice is not really Geralt's voice. Geralt's voice is much lower. So really, Geralt's voice only comes out in my personal life, like when I'm walking around the house and I kind of talking to myself and I go, damn, I gotta do that laundry. And then I'm not really trying to be Geralt, but I can hear it, because Geralt, of course, does laundry, I assume. Michael Cinder asks, this is a long one, so I might only be able to answer part of it. What does he do to prepare for his role as Witcher Geralt? Does he have to focus on any certain emotions or past experiences from Geralt or even himself? Because there seems to be a subtle current beneath the feigned, unemotional responses attributed to his inhuman condition. That's a big one. I'm going to have to say that's probably a longer, there's a longer answer to that question than I can do here today. The short answer is, over the years, I have not had to prepare for Geralt in the same way that I did in the earlier years, because I know him so well now. I understand what he's about. When we did Witcher 1, I needed the help of the developers because I hadn't been able to read the novels because they weren't in English yet, and I didn't know anything about the Witcher world. So I had to rely on the developers and their description of the world and this character and how he responds to his world to help create that character. But as I grew with CD Projekt and their understanding of the Witcher characters, yes, there's a lot of me in Geralt, and there's a lot of Geralt in me. Hope that answers your question. John Vincent, he asks, what does he prefer while acting as Geralt, Yen or Triss? It is a common question, you're absolutely right. And my answer is, both of those women are absolutely gorgeous women. Anybody would be proud to have either of them on his arm. Geralt kind of has both until you choose which one. My personal predilection is for the Triss personality, but that's just me. So there you go. Thomas Yanni, who did he use for inspiration? Does he play the games or read the books? That's 2. What are his thoughts on the upcoming Netflix series? That's 3. And I'll leave it at those 3. Okay, so for inspiration, now it's me and the stories and the character of Geralt, but initially when we were trying to find the voice, there was a suggestion that I should use as an inspiration Clint Eastwood from the Dirty Harry films. So that's partly where, the Witcher voice came from. So, go ahead, punk, make my day. Have I read the books myself? Yes, I have. All of them to date, except one. There's one I haven't read. It's a series of short stories. It's not The Last Wish. It's another one that's more recent. The Netflix series. I'm actually not going to comment on that, at least not beyond this. Let's give them a chance, guys. Let's give them a chance. There's a good team there. Let's see what they can do. I'm just looking, there's so many good ones here. I'm going to give you one that's, I can't do that. I don't remember the Pam Pam Param song. Pam Pam Param, Pam Pam Param. I have no idea. It was ages ago. Which game ending do I prefer? Nobody's asked this question before. So that was by Murat Kusku. So yes, he's behind the camera as we speak. So which game ending do I prefer? Well, I can say with all honesty that I got the ending I wanted. which was Ciri's a Witcher and Geralt is with Triss. But there is at least one other, possibly two other endings that are very, very excellent, so I would have been happy with either of those. There is one ending that nobody really wants, and I'm really sorry if you made the choices that got you to that ending. Thank you very much, everyone who sent in questions. It's really great to be here at London Anime and Gaming Convention here in London at the London Metropolitan University. It's been a great day. I've only been here for one day, but I've met loads and loads of really great people. And hopefully I'll be able to come back next year. So have a great evening, everyone, or day, or whatever it is, and we'll see you out there in the Witcher universe. Bye.
Okay, here we are, Witcher fans.